Number 8. Sleep was never one thing. Imagine lying down at night, drifting off, waking up a few hours later, and not panicking. No phone checking, oh no, I broke my sleep. You just wake up, chill for a bit, maybe think about life, maybe do a small task, and then go back to sleep like this was always the plan. Because for most of human history, it was. Pre-industrial humans didn't have one long sleep. They had two. Historians call it segmented sleep, but your ancestors probably called it Tuesday. They'd sleep for a few hours, wake naturally around midnight, stay awake for 1 to 3 hours, then fall back into a second sleep until morning. This wasn't insomnia. This was the default human operating system. Your brain actually still wants to do this. That random 3 a.m. wake up where you feel oddly alert, that's not your mind betraying you. That's thousands of years of biology tapping you on the shoulder like, hey, shouldn't we be doing something right now? Prayer, storytelling, intimacy, quiet work. These midnight wake periods were socially normal. No one labeled it a disorder. No one Googled, why am I awake? They just existed. Modern sleep science even accidentally rediscovered this when researchers removed artificial light. Participants naturally drifted into 2 sleep blocks within days. No coaching, no apps, just biology reclaiming the schedule. Basically, your brain still runs ancient firmware, and 8-hour uninterrupted sleep is a very recent software update it never fully agreed to install. Number 7. Darkness was doing the scheduling. Your ancestors didn't have alarms, or blackout curtains, or a glowing rectangle whispering just one more video at midnight. They had darkness, real darkness, the kind that tells your brain exactly what time it is without saying a word. Light controls melatonin like a strict manager. Sun goes down, melatonin rises. Sun comes up, melatonin clocks out. But before electricity, light wasn't constant. Firelight was dim. Candles were weak. Night actually felt like night. So melatonin didn't just spike once and coast for 8 hours. It rose, dipped, rose again. 2 sleeps naturally emerged from the rhythm of darkness itself. This also meant sleep length changed with the seasons. Winter nights were long. People slept more. Summer nights were short. People slept less. No one forced their body into the same schedule year-round. There was no bedtime. There was just night happening to you. Now compare that to modern life, where your brain gets blasted with artificial daylight at 11:47 p.m., then told to shut down immediately and stay unconscious for exactly 8 hours. That's like revving a car engine and then being mad it doesn't instantly power off. Your ancestors weren't better sleepers. They just weren't fighting light physics every night. Number 6. The 8-hour rule was a factory decision. Here's the part nobody likes admitting. The idea of 8 uninterrupted hours of sleep didn't come from biology. It came from economics, specifically factories. During the Industrial Revolution, time became rigid. Workers had shifts. Machines ran on schedules. You couldn't have people casually waking up at 1 a.m. to contemplate existence and then clocking in whenever their soul felt ready. So sleep got standardized. 1 block, 1 night, 1 expectation. 8 hours became convenient, not natural, convenient. It fit neatly between workdays. It made labor predictable. And over time, we confused works well for industrial productivity with optimal for the human nervous system. Your ancestors slept when it made sense. You sleep when capitalism says you should, and then we're shocked when your body rebels like, hey, this schedule feels fake. Number 5. Waking at night was a survival feature. Here's the part that gets slightly unsettling. Humans didn't evolve to be unconscious for long, uninterrupted stretches because that's dangerous. Someone had to wake up every night. Predators, rival groups, environmental threats, total vulnerability wasn't an option. Those midnight wake periods weren't bugs. They were features. If everyone slept deeply at the same time, the species didn't last very long. But if some people naturally woke up, checked the environment, listened, stayed alert for a bit, survival odds went up. Your modern anxiety-filled 2 a.m. alertness isn't random. It's a leftover security system. Your brain doesn't know you're safe in a locked house with a fridge and Wi-Fi. It just knows darkness used to mean stay semi-alert or die. So it wakes you up, just in case. Basically, your ancestors didn't fail to sleep 8 hours. 8 hours failed to exist yet, and your brain never really updated its expectations. Number 4. Your brain still tries to split the night. Ever notice how you sleep deeply for the first few hours, then lighter later on? Or how waking up in the middle of the night sometimes feels strangely calm, almost reflective, before anxiety barges in? That's not random. That's your brain still attempting its old 2-part routine. Deep sleep tends to happen earlier. Lighter, dreamier sleep happens later. In segmented sleep, that quiet awake window sat right between those phases. Now, because you're told you must stay asleep the whole time, Your brain hits that natural transition and goes, wait, why are we not allowed to be awake right now? Confusion ensues. So you wake up, and instead of peacefully existing, you panic scroll, blast your eyes with light, spike your cortisol, and accidentally convince your nervous system that a saber-toothed tiger has learned how to use Wi-Fi. Basically, your ancestors didn't sleep better because they were tougher. They slept differently because their environment didn't constantly argue with their biology. Number 3. Night was social, not silent. Picture waking up at midnight and not feeling like you're doing something wrong. No guilt, no stress, no internal lecture about productivity. For your ancestors, that quiet middle-of-the-night window wasn't a glitch. It was a feature with a vibe. This was the time for talking, for storytelling, for prayer, for intimacy, for staring into a fire and thinking thoughts that only make sense when the world is asleep. Entire cultural practices existed specifically for this period. Some languages even had separate words for first sleep and second sleep, which is honestly rude because we don't even have a word for awake at 3 a.m., but kind of calm about it. When you wake up at night now, you immediately assume something is wrong. You check the clock like it personally offended you. You start calculating how tired you'll be tomorrow. That stress alone is enough to keep you awake longer. Your ancestors didn't do that. They didn't measure sleep in hours. They experienced it in phases. And because night waking was normal, it didn't come with anxiety, which is ironic because the thing that ruins modern sleep the most is worrying about sleep. Basically, your brain used to treat midnight like a quiet intermission. Now it treats it like a crisis meeting. Number 2. Silence made thoughts get weird. When the world went dark for your ancestors, it didn't go loud. No engines, no notifications, no hum of electricity whispering that something, somewhere, is still happening. Night was quiet in a way modern brains almost never experience. And quiet does something strange to the mind. With no external input, your brain turns inward. Thoughts get louder. Memories show up uninvited. Ideas connect in ways that don't make sense at noon, but feel profound at 2 a.m. That middle of the night wake period wasn't just tolerated, it was mentally useful. Many people reported clearer thinking, emotional processing, even creativity during those hours. It wasn't mystical, it was neurological. Your default mode network, the part of your brain responsible for reflection and meaning-making, had room to breathe. No rush. No stimulation arms race. Now, when you wake up at night, silence is gone. You feel it instantly. Phone, light, noise, content. And instead of letting your brain drift naturally, you shove it back into daytime mode and wonder why it resists. Basically, your ancestors used night waking as a mental decompression chamber. You use it as an anxiety arcade. Number 1. Stress is the real sleep thief. Here's the cruel twist. Modern humans are safer than ever, yet sleep worse than people who literally worried about predators. Why? Because danger used to be external. Now it's internal. Your ancestors didn't lie awake worrying about emails, deadlines, or whether they were doing sleep correctly. Their stressors ended with daylight. Night was dark, slow, and boring. That boredom was calming. Modern stress doesn't shut off, follows you into bed. Cortisol stays high. Your nervous system stays alert. So when your brain hits its natural wake window, instead of peaceful awareness, you get racing thoughts, dread spirals, and a sudden urge to rethink every life decision since age 12. Your body isn't broken. It's just confused while you're asking it to relax in an environment that still feels like daytime psychologically.